Okay, well, I've got the music playing.
I see the clouds, they're rolling in. They hide the sun, but not my sin. The Judas kiss still on my lips. Can't walk away from where I've been. Oh, hear the calling. Oh, hear the calling. Walking on the water, talking sun in my feet. Gonna make the devil holler, hallelujah. I'm tired of watching shadows bleed, fighting for nothing but a need. The seventh fall is on my knees. Let sighs and secrets cover me. Oh, hear the calling. Hear the calling. Walking on the water, talking sun in my feet. Gonna make the devil holler, hallelujah. Gonna run across the waves, yeah. Gonna let the birds sing. Listen to the devil singing, hallelujah. I see the clouds, they're rolling in. Rocking on the water, talking sun in my feet. Gonna make the devil holler, hallelujah. Gonna run across the waves, yeah. Gonna let the birds sing. Listen to the devil singing, hallelujah. I'm rocking on the water, talking sun in my feet. Gonna make the devil holler, hallelujah. Gonna run across the waves, yeah. Gonna let the birds sing. Listen to the devil singing, hallelujah.
Welcome. You're listening to Mystic Moon Cafe Radio.
Happy Wednesday, everybody.
Yes, happy Wednesday. We are
Happy
With-
Wednesday.
Moon Cafe, and we're saying hello and a nice happy birthday to Wendy today because today is her birthday.
Yay!
Ooh, I'm throwing confetti.
Do Just wait. Let's just get out of the way. I'll count to 5, and then we'll just do the little song, okay?
Which one?
Happy birthday to you.
You know, no, like the happy birthday.
Oh, no, I was going to do like fast 8-year-old style.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wendy. Happy birthday to you. And we know better than to do how old are you and all that stuff.
No, we
But
didn't.
and many more. Okay. How was that?
We got it out. Okay,
We got it out of the way.
Thank you. Bob.
so what did Augie get you for your birthday?
Well, he got me kisses, and he almost took my hand off trying to grab the giggle ball that Jacob sent us.
Oh. Oh, well, I'm glad.
Psycho, but
That's awesome. But you still have your hand, though. Yeah, that would have sucked on your birthday.
I have another one. It's okay.
Very good. Oh, man. So, how was everybody's weeks? Because I know Jacob is back from just a little trip.
That's true. I did have a vacation, and my vacations are go, go, go. So I spent the whole weekend sleeping. But it was a good trip.
Casbah.
Rock the Casbah. Walk the Casbah. Rock the Casbah.
Sure, don't like it.
So, well, tell us a little bit about it, you know.
Oh, you want to know a little something about my trip, eh?
I mean, that's, sounds amazing.
Okay.
Even though it was go, 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 go.
Yeah, it was go, 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 go. We started in Milan. So just so you know, I was gone for 9 days, and the destinations were Milan, Barcelona, Ibiza, Rome, and London. So that should tell you about...
Right.
Yeah. But let's see. We spent most of the trip in Ibiza. So if you don't know Ibiza, it's an island in the Mediterranean. It's about an hour flight from Barcelona, and you're heading southwest of Barcelona, and it's known for its partying. So there was a movie called Ibiza. I think you can see it on Netflix, and that kind of sums up Ibiza. But it's the kind of place, if you're into EDM or electronic dance music, the world's best DJs go there and spin at all the clubs. And you'll go and it's just some random Wednesday night and it's Calvin Harris. Some random Thursday, it's David Guetta. You've got Van Buren's there, Martin Solveig, if I said that right. And, it's a big club culture and... in the city of Ibiza, actually, if you go to the rest of the island, it's just it's just beach towns, really quiet, and so that was go go go, and there were some clubs, some clubs with 6'6" drag queens that greet you at the door. It was fun, but with Barcelona. Yeah, with Barcelona, I went to with my other half, and we went and visited relatives there. So that was a bit quieter. Got to hang out with the nephew, and then went to Rome. And it's just, in Italy, just like France and Spain, all the wine is good and all the food is good.
The thing though about Rome in August, there are billions of people there, just about everywhere.
Yeah, actually, there were more Americans there than I thought there would be, for sure. When I was in Ibiza in Barcelona, it was all French and Italians. But Rome was loaded with Brits and Americans. Right. But the food is really good. We made sure we went to the mom and pop restaurants.
Yes,
so all the, and Italians, though they're eating pasta, let's just say we're not at Olive Garden, okay?
Exactly.
But the food was really good and everything, and the ruins were really cool to see. I thought this is my first time to Rome. I was just expecting ruins everywhere, and that's not really the case. No. It's just certain parts. So I did the Colosseum and was it Palatine Hill and the Forum.
was pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I had the pizza there for sure. And
Did you have cannelloni?
no, actually, I didn't have any of that stuff. I stuck to the pasta. I did notice, because we started in Milan, the flavoring of the marinara sauces and stuff is different in Rome than in the north. Rome was definitely much sweeter when it came to the tomato pastes and stuff like that. It was sweeter in Rome. I do remember that.
So what about desserts?
I didn't indulge in desserts.
Did not indulge.
I did
That's
not.
amazing.
Do you count wine and espresso?
I guess,
Okay.
Well, some of the espresso there.
Oh yeah,
It was
espresso's
kind of funny.
delicious.
I was having a hard time really finding. I don't know if you want to call it an Americanized cup of coffee, but some of the espresso was so thick and black that it was like drinking dark mud. It was just excruciating. So we were like always on, and then we found like this knockoff Starbucks place. I can't believe that Starbucks is letting this place like.
Oh, I know which one you're
stay
talking
open.
about. I saw a couple of them. They look just like Starbucks.
Yeah, they look exactly like Starbucks, but they are not Starbucks. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But oh well, I mean, it sounds. I'm really getting antsy to travel again. So I mean, now I just want to hear about everybody's travels.
Mm-hmm. And then we were in London, but we've been to London plenty of times. It was just kind of nice to go where everyone speaks English, right? At the end of the Italian and Spanish adventure.
Yes.
But that's kind of where we decompressed before we came back to Seattle.
I do. I enjoy London. Of course, my absolute favorite place in the world is Edinburgh.
Oh, I do like Edinburgh a lot too.
Yes.
That's one of my favorite cities in the UK. I think it is my favorite city in the UK.
Yeah. Oh, mine too. I want to go back there so bad.
Yeah, I would take another trip. We could, because my parents are from Wales. So I don't know if you knew that, June. My dad's Welsh.
Really?
Yep, he was born in Cardiff, and so my grandparents, of course, are Welsh, but that's not really the Scottish part. But Wales is a beautiful part
I've
of the
heard
UK
that. I've
too.
heard that a lot.
Yeah, I was really thinking about going to Cardiff. That was one of the places. There was something there, and I can't remember what it was that I wanted to see.
Oh, they've got a bunch of castles and henges.
Maybe it was a castle. Maybe it was
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
castles.
It got blown up in the war, so it's not like
Intact.
Windsor, or, the
Right.
London Tower or any of that stuff. It's not going to be quite so nice. But let me tell you, I think this is one misconception people have. Everyone thinks like Stonehenge is the be all end. There are henges everywhere
Yeah,
in the
that's
southern
true.
United Kingdom. It just happens to be the biggest.
I mean, if you watch Outlander, you know
Oh yeah.
that you could accidentally trip and fall into another time.
Yep.
Hate when that
And then find a Jamie Fraser. Let me just, gaze off into the distance when I think about that for a minute. Have you seen that yet, Wendy? Excuse me.
Oh,
God,
Outlander?
crap.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh my gosh.
It was okay. I mean,
Well, the books are what I mean. I really didn't really watch the show that much, but the first book is what I fell in love with. Yeah. But yeah, the show.
yeah,
but-
it wasn't bad, but man, there was a lot of violence against women, and that just kind of, that.
Yeah.
It's like,
Exactly.
okay, I understand it was history,
time
and that's
frame.
how it is, but I really don't care to be watching it.
Especially that much. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hmm.
But since we just started off with a little Outlander,
Mm-hmm.
tonight's topic we are going to be talking about all sorts of media, movies, TV shows, whatever else there is. What is it? Movie, TV shows,
We could talk, comic books.
YouTube, videos.
Yes.
Prime.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we have
Netflix.
enough time to talk about all of that.
Yeah. Moving picture media.
Well, actually, we might have enough time now.
So that brings us to, I guess, our first movie and our one of our hostesses with the mostesses, June, got a sneak peek of It, Chapter 2. What?
I did.
Can we get
And-
spoiler free?
I'm going to try very hard because it's going to be hard for me because there's lots of things I'd like to say about certain things, but let's just say that I liked it. I actually really, really liked it. Some things I actually liked the first movie better a little bit if we're comparing the movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about the first, not well, the one from the 80s. Or 90s, actually 90s.
Okay.
I enjoyed. That one always has a soft spot in my heart because I love Tim Curry and I love what he brought to the clown on It.
Pennywise.
Yes, it was Pennywise, and I loved his interpretation, and he was just this sweet kind of funny clown that could rip your head off. But it was the made for TV movie, and there was a lot of really bad cheesy dialogue in it.
Well, yeah.
But I enjoyed that a lot because it's just, I don't know, it's very wholesome to me, and especially I'm a big fan of John Ritter. I just love him, and what's his name, Harry on Night Court that passed away a few years ago. I really liked him too. So it's just one of those things. So I tried not to compare some of the things too much, but one of the things I really liked what they did for the old one was they had a lot more character development, especially with the adults.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of cared about the characters, even though it was extremely cheesy and blah, blah, blah. But also, too, I understand that was a series, so they had more time to develop the characters a little more, so you cared a little more about each character. So, I was saying that, the new one with the adults, I really wish they had a little more in-depth character development. There were a couple of characters that I was, really wishing that they would have gotten a little more, I don't know. And then they threw a few things in. I was just like, really? Why did you throw that in there? Because that was stupid. And, anyway. So, but overall, it was a really fun roller coaster ride because it was nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, okay, we're, let's have fun here. We're going to have fun. And then we got to run to the next thing. And then let's split up and run these things and do our own thing. And then, it was just like one crazy thing after another. And so without giving away anything, some of the, can I do, yeah, let me think there, I'm sure you'll guess that there are going to be creatures or something.
Yes.
So I don't, you'd be surprised to say, why did you tell me that, Jude? I wouldn't be surprised if there were creatures.
Pennywise is a shape changer.
Yes,
He
yes.
changed shape plenty of times in the first movie.
Yes.
Well, the one from, 2 years ago?
Yes.
Right, yeah.
2 years ago. Well, in this one, they take it up like 50 notches. So, some of the creatures are so wild and over the top. I won't tell you what they are, but it was just like, I literally started laughing so hard because I couldn't believe they did it. That's all I can say. It was awesome. It was really fun and awesome and hilarious. While other people were screaming in terror, I was thinking it was the cutest, funnest thing I've ever seen. So it was, people hate me when I say, oh, it's such a cute movie, but I thought it was really cute and very sweet, and it kind of made me laugh and cry, and I really didn't cry, but my roommate, Angela, when she went with me, she cried. She still has a soul. She's so sweet. But yeah, it was like a roller coaster, but like I said, I wish they would have had just a little more time to give me a little more of the character development on the adults.
Okay.
and what they have been through and things like that. And especially there was one character that was damn hot. Let's just say that. And I was wishing I would see a little more of his character.
You mean like more skin or more screen time?
A little more screen time.
Okay.
And
Shirtless
again,
screen time.
But we saw that a couple times, so that was fine. But like I said, it was PG-13. So I think it was PG-13.
Yeah, I think it is too.
Because there were kids there, which I was like, why are you bringing your 8-year-old or 9-year-old to this?
Because nothing scares those kids these
Yeah.
days.
That's true. They've got Netflix.
Yep.
No, it's rated R.
Oh, is it rated
It
R?
is rated R.
I'm really surprised they let kids in, because I was thinking, oh.
Well, if they're there with their
probably
parents.
had parents, yeah.
I do have to tell you, though, there is a very, very disturbing scene at kind of close to the beginning that kind of follows the book, if you've read the book. And I think a lot of people who have read the book will know what I'm talking about a couple getting beaten up. I do have to throw this spoiler in. It's really that. Now
It's
that,
graphic.
yes, it's really graphic and extremely disturbing and really upsetting, because in the current, we won't talk politics or anything, but in the current environment, things like this are happening a lot more and more, and it was very, very graphic and upsetting. But that's how it started off in the book, and they actually followed that part of the book. So, so yeah, that was kind of how, the first thing that, never mind. But I won't get anything else. So overall, though, I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. Don't go there trying to just sit there and enjoy it. Don't, try to think,
Don't analyze it. Just ride the wave.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Entertainment, and go with it.
And if you do that, and there's one creature that I laughed so hard, I thought I was going to just, pee my pants. That's all I can say.
Okay, but how did Angela react? Because that would be, something we could actually relate to.
Yeah, really good. Actually, she was laughing too, because I was laughing so hard.
Okay.
Because it was just like, I'm laughing not because it was, well, I don't know. I don't even know. But I'm laughing because it was so over the top and so unbelievable that I was seeing it, that was so funny.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
so that was it. So I have to say, but yeah, you have never seen creatures like these. So I would go just to see all these different.
Okay.
And I know one of the previews that they've had, so it's really not a spoiler, but the biggest preview they had was when Beverly went over to where she thought was her father's apartment, and it was, actually her father wasn't living in there anymore. So the biggest preview that they had was her going over to this old lady's apartment.
We have that trailer in the chat.
Exactly. That was one of my favorite. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things. It was so funny. Anyway.
So do you think that they made this one far more plot driven, because in the first movie they really spent a lot of time with the kids?
Yeah.
And this time they're probably just like, no, they're adults now. Let's just get to the jump scares.
I think so. A lot of it that was. I know that they were, yeah, I think that's where they spent. Yeah, they spent most of the time making it more of the stories and things like that, and it was just missing something. And I'm trying to think what it was really missing that I cared more about them as children. And I was like really disappointed, because in the beginning, the one from the early 90s, I think it was just 1990 is when it was made. But that one, I cared a lot more about the adults, because it started off with the adults, and then they had the flashback as them as children. They kind of kept doing that back and forth. So I don't know. There was just a little something missing, but I still loved it. I can't wait to buy it and watch it over and over again. Which I do a lot of these things.
Yeah.
Of course.
I mean, I haven't seen the second one, but with the first one, it's been 2 years. So do you think we can spoil it now?
Oh yeah, I think so.
Okay. So
If not,
my biggest beef with the first movie, and I thought it was just meh, was that it seemed like just a collection of jump scare scenes instead of a story or a movie. It's like, let's take care of Georgie, let's start scaring all the kids, and they didn't really think about a cohesive story with it for me. So it seemed a bit disjointed. However, the scene where they're watching the film in the garage, and Pennywise pops out as the dragony big mouthy thing, that was amazing. Yeah. And I liked the fight in the kitchen and the old house quite a bit.
Oh, that was fun.
But, when it got to the end with, floating, I was just like, meh.
I understand that. Yeah, I think what I liked the most about the first movie was their funny banter with each other. I thought that was cute. I thought it was fun. And I understand. Yeah, I would say it was a little disjointed. I think this one is even more kind of, it didn't flow.
Okay.
For me, it really didn't flow for me, but. I just have to say that it was, yeah. I'm gonna watch them both again, like hopefully when the other one comes out soon. I'm like already ready to put it in my collection, so I can just watch them both together and kind of see. But the one from the 90s always has like a big place in my heart because I don't know. I just absolutely love it. With all the cheesiness and silliness, I really liked it.
Yeah, I would say in the 1990s, I do remember seeing it. And if we've got time, I'd like to talk about another Stephen King TV miniseries that's my absolute favorite one.
Salem Slot?
No. Oh, I did like Salem Slot, but it's not that one. But it wasn't a 3-night movie event. Yeah, so really it would work out to be like a 4-hour film. Right. But I thought they did a really good job with developing the kids and the adults. In the case of the miniseries from 90, I like the adults more than the kids.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. But
the first one had the element of Stand By Me. Another Stephen King, believe it or not.
Exactly.
Yeah. But in tonight also is, and Wendy can talk about this a bit more, is we had the premiere of Ghost Hunters, the new TV series on A&E.
Yes. What did you think?
I thought it was really well done. They're all real down to earth. There wasn't any of that. Did you hear that? Oh my God! And their reasonings were good. Their findings were very spot on from just from the little bit you see while you're watching them, of course. But just very professional, very very nicely done. They all seem to get along really really well, and no snipey snarky stuff going on.
No Brian Harnoir.
Yeah,
drama.
I was a little worried about it because when I'm watching the trailers, and out here on the West Coast, it hasn't aired yet. It's going to air. They've got a 1-hour run up where they introduce all of the new cast members, or I guess teammates would be more appropriate. And then that's an hour long, and then the actual show comes on. But it's done Central Time and Eastern Time. It's already finished.
Yep.
Yeah, but I was worried because there's a lot of people on that team.
Yeah.
There are. They're 6 or 8. I think there were 8.
And
they probably have somebody waiting in the van though, and
Yeah.
And the camera people, following them.
Oh
around.
yeah. But I wasn't.
The school they were at was really cool.
Oh, okay.
And I don't remember the name. I want to say Potawatomi or something like that, and that's not far off, but it might be something that also sounds like it over the state line in Kansas. So. But they were in Oregon.
Oh.
And it was a high school. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
interesting.
Yeah, usually they don't make it to the West Coast unless you're a member of Ghost Adventures.
Yes, exactly. So how did Brandon do? Matt Goldman's friend.
Brandon did very, very well. And he's like Mr. On It. If one of his teammates is looking like he might be in a little bit of distress, he's hopping over railings and running towards him to get him help. And
Awesome.
it was really good. And he was very down to earth, very level headed. His explanations were very knowledgeable, and like I said, just the down to earthness, not that all scariness and oh my gosh. And
Right.
I don't know if you want spoilers or not. That's my whole. I gotta tell
Yeah,
you.
yeah. Let's not spoil. But so the
'Cause some
whole.
people may be going, "Hey, wait, I got."
Yeah,
yet."
we won't spoil. But I was looking around at, because I do reviews of the ghosty shows, so I like to look up the credentials of the cast members, and 3 of them. So of course Grant and I forgot the lady's name. I think it's something Lumen or Layman, something like that. She was on Ghost Mine. And then...
I thought it was Crystal. Or no?
Is it Crystal? Let me see.
No, that's not it.
And I'm usually up on this stuff. Anyway, but it was the lady from Ghost Mine. And then there was a guy with a beard. I think he wore some kind of bowler hat. He had like some kind of golfer hat in the promo. So he had a legit resume for ghost hunting, and the other 3+ people were a little thin in their paranormal. So rumor had it they did a casting call for half the cast.
Brandon also is a professional, paranormal investigator. So
Okay.
he's been doing that for a long time.
Okay, so he must be the guy with the beard.
Group. No.
He's not?
Bald guy. He was wearing more like almost a chauffeur's type cap.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He wore a hat.
But
Yeah,
he didn't have he didn't have a beard, did he?
I thought he
I
had some
don't think
squash.
so.
Okay.
Well, not on the show anyway.
Okay, I'm looking up. Let me.
Clean
Here we go.
shaven.
Let me see here. I'm pulling up cast spoilers.
Well, of course you are.
Of course I am. So we know Grant.
Yes.
Daryl Marston is the guy I'm talking about. He wore a beanie cap. He has a beard.
Oh, okay. He's a little bit taller than Brandon. If you look at the picture right under chat, that's the new team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I was talking about the guy. Oh, they're both wearing black caps. That's why. It's the red-haired guy, I think.
Okay.
That must be him, Brandon. Okay, so they had the guy. I can put this in. So we know Kristen Lumen from Ghost Mine.
Yeah. Thought that was her name.
I liked Ghost Mine. It's unfortunate I got canceled.
I did too. It was so much fun.
Yeah, so Daryl is from the American Ghost Hunter Show. It's a podcast. So that's how I know him. And
Is
he's
that with Chad? I can't think of his name.
okay.
Never mind. Messed up.
All right. So we got Kristen, then we got Brandon Alvis, and he is wearing a black hat. He is clean shaven in this one. And American Paranormal Research Association is his group, but it's the other ones. You've got Mustafa, which I couldn't find much about him. And
Military, I believe, and he's kind of the
yeah.
I'm not gonna say protector, but he has protective tendencies.
Okay, so he's a paranormal historian and site analyst.
Yes.
So, and then you've got Brian, who's the guy who was confusing. He is a heavier set gentleman, also wearing a black cap. When is up with the black caps? And he looks to be reddish, have reddish hair. He's got a beard.
Yep.
And they say he's the Marine Corps platoon sergeant Brian, but he is.
Maybe I got him mixed up with the other guy.
Yeah,
Apologies.
he has a thin. It says he's a paranormal investigator and former Marine, but when I was checking on credentials, his seemed a bit thin. And I don't care if if I get hate mail for this stuff. The fact's the fact. Okay.
Addressed Jacob?
And yep. And then you've got Rochelle. Is it?
I think so.
Yeah, Rochelle Stratton, and I couldn't find much about her either. And the reason why I brought up the casting call is a producer did hit up my website and ask me to post stuff about the casting call for the show. And the casting call was, you didn't necessarily have to be a ghost hunter to be on the show.
Mm-hmm. That's what most of them are.
Yeah.
I'd say that that's a good mix, though, and they all work very well together.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'll be doing a review of it. It's just, I know it's for entertainment, but if you're going to be on national TV, everybody better have some ghostly chops.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Claiming to be a ghost hunter, being on that show, please at least act like you know what you're doing.
I mean, I get it, like when they did Ghost Hunter Academy, all rookies and stuff, get it. But if you're going to be representing the community, all of you had better have some chops.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now it was a decent show.
I know,
They
it's
get along
entertainment.
well as a group. They all acted very professionally. It's well presented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you'll be seeing a review. You'll be seeing a review on my site a little bit later this week.
Cool. Oh wow.
Okay.
Well, that sounds cool then.
So it took place. I mean, do they have any really cutting edge gear? I mean, do they have some killer evidence? You don't have to spoil, but
Yes.
Yes, they did. Thanks, Chicken.
They did.
oh, they went to Idaho. They were in Pocatello, Idaho. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Oregon? I meant Idaho. Yeah.
That's okay.
Pocatello. See, I knew it was close.
Pocatello.
The old.
Was that the place that? Oh, that was the place that we were gonna. I was trying to arrange a little road trip to because they had the old haunted school there that they made into a bed and breakfast. And there were a couple other buildings there that I thought would be great to investigate.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow. I might be wrong, but I think it was. I'm almost positive that was it.
Very
In
cool.
Idaho. The trip to Idaho.
No, there was some equipment on there, and I thought of you immediately, Jake, because I was like, "What the hell is that thing?"
Okay, well,
You
when
got
I
that- you got that doohickey on top spinning, and and with lights all under it, it's really pretty. Ooh,
Okay.
shiny.
I was gonna say I saw
I don't
some.
know what it is, but I need.
Yeah, because I was watching Ghosts of Morgan City, and they got this guy named KD Strafford. He's got ghost hunting chops. So, but he would pull out some gear. I'm just like, what the hell is that?
I must have it.
Actually, it did cross my mind, but a lot of it was ITC, so it got ruled out immediately. I went, oh, how cute! It's a big spirit box.
Nice, yes. Oh, wow.
No, their experiments were a little. Well, the flashlight one is always a little weak to me.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now they were trying to get the possible spirit to draw energy from the flashlights. That was it. They were trying to get the spirit to draw energy from the flashlights, but it ended up draining the voice recorder
Oh.
instead. Yeah, and then I had to turn it off because get ready for the show and all. But I missed about the last 15 minutes of it.
It was probably the best part when the ghost came out and did a tap dance and everything, and you missed it.
Most
Damn.
likely, yes. There was good investigating of sightings and things, and I'll call it debunking. I know we hate that word, but they
No,
were
we don't hate that word.
okay.
I'm all about debunking.
Yeah, we're
They did
good with
debunking, but they also had some really awesome personal experiences. So it was just kind of a mismatch. Very good. It was entertaining. It was very entertaining.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I might even have to watch that then.
Okay, I mean,
At least the first one.
oh yeah, I mean, even if it's a show I don't like, I watch it just because I want them to get ratings so they can continue.
Okay.
So I mean,
So you can tear them apart in your podcast.
well, the only time I dog them, if you listen to all if you do my reviews, is if they misuse the equipment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially
And-
on TV like that, I mean, they should know what they freaking
Yeah.
are doing.
And the reason why I have to do that is you're going to have the newbies, and we're going to get right back to horror movies after this because, like, this is becoming kind of a rant on reality TV. But the reason why I do that is because there's going to be a lot of new people. This is the first time they're watching a show. They will get really into it, and they think this is the way ghost hunts are done, and it's not.
Yes,
So
I
that's
agree,
why I dog it. But I get, if they get good evidence, like EVP, or they get an apparition, sometimes stuff happens. Like Ghost Adventures faces our ire quite often. But when they got the shadow people in that Texas prison, that was really good stuff. I don't know if you've seen that one. I can't remember if it was the Sugarland Penitentiary or something like that. That was really good stuff. But a lot of times the equipment isn't used correctly, or the way it's edited. Because, there's legit ghost hunters out there on these shows. Okay, I'm not going to fault them. But we only see how it's edited.
Yeah. Right.
And they could have just taken that 30 seconds where, they were kind of screwing off or something. I don't know. And the rest of it was legit, and we didn't see it. And that's all we have to go by. Okay, let's get back to horror movies.
Yes. Because we could go on and on about
Yes,
that.
we can. We'll do reality. We could do a separate episode on reality TV.
That would be really nice. I think that would be a really good episode. Just reality, and we could have some ex-reality TV people on.
Yeah, we're current. We can ask them on, and and we can bring up. It's like, hey, dude, I saw you do this on the show, and like, you weren't using it right. So what's the behind the scenes scoop?
The deal? Yeah.
It's like, because I give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, okay, it's probably edited wrong, or they just caught you at the bad moment. But that's what we saw. Like the Jack Osborne foot tap.
Hate mail should go to Jacob Rice and June Nixon.
Yeah, you could send the hate mail through ghostlyactivities.com. That's fine. I mean, I've had the trolls come after me before, whatever.
Yes. I have too, believe it or not. Even me.
Oh, me too.
All right.
Yeah.
Horror
Attacked
movies.
by trolls. Yay!
Yes.
Hey, has anybody seen the movie Troll Hunter?
Oh my
The
God.
Norwegian one?
Not the cartoon. The Norwegian. Did you say
It's Norwegian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I love that movie.
I love Troll Hunter.
If you have not seen that, it's one of the. See, I have a very big soft spot for found footage movies. I don't know why. I don't know why I love them so much, but I do. And anytime I find out there's a new one out, I have to watch it like right away.
I agree.
I don't know what it is.
I
but
love them. I love them.
Yeah.
So speaking of found footage, okay, so everyone knows the two biggest found footage, Blair Witch Project and Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Right.
But outside of those, what are some of your favorite found footage ones? And we can discuss, because I know my favorite found footage movie.
Well, I have quite a few. Let me see. Let me think of one that I really like to watch over and over is Grave Encounters.
That's my favorite. Yes, it's my absolute favorite one.
Friends forever.
Yay! Pinky, hold. Pinky.
Have you seen it, Wendy?
Yes, I have.
Yes. So I don't know why
I didn't
like
hate it.
so much. Yeah. See, that's a good thing.
Exactly.
I don't know why I love that movie so much, but I do. I like to watch it. It's one of those movies I like to watch over and over.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. But one thing that does piss me off, and I think it's been out long enough where I can say some spoilers.
Okay.
Do you think so?
Well, yeah, I mean, the movie's old. It's like from
Okay.
2011, so.
I just want to make sure, just in case you're like,
Oh, spoiler alert. This episode
Yeah,
is
spoiler
filled with spoilers.
you were going to watch it, and then all of a sudden I start saying this, plug your ears and go, la, 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 or at least, who knows how long. But what made me so mad is the girl on there. Well, I can't think of her name right now, but she I mean, when something happened to her, like something lifted her hair, she freaks out. She starts screaming and screaming. I just want to get out of here. It's like, oh my God. You know, did any of the guys, I mean, it just made me mad because I was like, oh, way to go, honey.
Ashley Grisco playing Sasha Parker.
Yeah, Sasha. Sasha, you know, I was just mad because she started screaming like that. I was like, oh my gosh, if you were on my team, you would be sent outside to cool off. I am pointing my finger right now. Go outside
in the corner.
and cool off. Oh my gosh! But I was just like, really, you have your hair pulled up a little bit, and then you start screaming. I mean, if all of a sudden I felt like, you know, a ghost is shanking me in the back, then but
Pain, though. That's from pain, not from freak out. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, I know I'm one of these people. I'm a pretty calm investigator when I do investigations. I'm very calm. And when something happens, I mean, there have been times I've been startled. I was in a house one time where there was no wind and the door upstairs slammed shut. This one woman started screaming like, you know, she was being murdered, and I did have to escort her outside. But
Like those teenage girls in that auditorium.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, but anyway,
Yes.
but yeah, that's the one thing that bugged me was just her screaming when her hair it wasn't even pulled, it was just like lifted up in the air.
We have commentary from a listener in Seattle, Washington.
We do.
His name is, there's some dude named Ross. I think he's a troll. But
Yes,
he's
Ross.
saying, get a room, I'm puking. Ask her about mice.
Oh my gosh.
And of course, twice we have listed the chats on the website, but he remains on the Spreaker site.
Oh, of course.
So we know he doesn't take direction well.
No, he doesn't.
No,
take
not at all.
Oh well, but yeah, he didn't like Brave Encounters. I don't think he hardly likes any of the found footage movies.
Oh, I freaking love him.
I do too. Another one that I really like. Well, God, there's so many different ones. Well, like paranormal investigation wise. I loved. Did you see The Muir House?
That one doesn't ring a bell.
I don't like the ending of it. I think that was stupid, but I like The Muir House. It's about the most haunted house in Australia.
Oh, I know this one. Yeah.
I didn't like the ending of it, but I liked the movie going up to that. I thought it was fun.
Okay.
Let's see, what's another one?
Oh, so some of my favorite found footage, and it's more than found footage. It's like recorded web video, Unfriended.
Oh yeah, you know, I like that. There were so many haters with that, and I was like, I really liked it. It was really exciting.
Yeah, I'm like Unfriended and not the third VHS movie, but the first two the anthologies.
I love those. Yes.
Yeah.
I love those too. The anthology movies. It's like, yes. I like all those too. It's like, yeah. And let's see, what was the other? Oh, did you see any of the Blackwell Ghost movies?
No, I have not seen those.
I enjoyed the first one very much. I'm one of these people, I can't be fooled very well. I mean, well, with that anyway. I don't go into anything else. But I'm one of these people that, you know, it's like, I mean, like, I wasn't one that even remotely thought the Blair Witch movie was, you know, real when it first came out. There were lots of people that did, and I won't name any names to anybody that's listening. But when the Blair Witch came out, there was no way I even slightly thought it was a real movie, you know, or I mean, a real documentary, which a lot of people did. Well, with the Blackwell Ghost, they marketed it so well that even on the IMDb, not IMDb, but on like Amazon Prime or anything like this, they listed the only person in the movie as Mrs. Blackwell,
Mm.
who was the ghost. And so you're
Okay.
thinking, they didn't even list anybody that was, they didn't list anybody that was the guy that was, starring in the movie. They didn't list him.
Immersive
thinking-
marketing.
Yes, exactly. And you start thinking, wait a minute, is this real? But as I was watching it, it could have been. It wasn't like a found footage because he actually lives, because he does others. But I mean, it was so subtle. It wasn't like things flying around the room, and it was like a real experiences, except at the end where that was a little more, hyped up. But it was really fun. It was really good. And the second one I thought was horrible.
Oh,
And
okay.
I can't hardly remember it. The second one was not good, but the third one I enjoyed. Ross did not like that one either because he thought the banging on. Oh, never mind. But
You can spoil it if it came out more than a year ago. We can spoil it.
But anyway, there was a lot of loud banging on the walls and some other things. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. It kind of unnerved me a little bit because I get unnerved when it's supposed to be a quiet environment and then there are loud noises.
Mm.
That makes me like, I'm uncomfortable. Ugh.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm like, stop that shit. Let's get back to like some real scares.
Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, if you haven't seen it, the first and the third one are definitely worth seeing, especially the first one. It's
Okay.
really fun.
What was
I
the name
enjoyed
of it again? I'll drop the trailer. Blackwell
The Blackwell Ghost.
Ghost Trick.
and-
Okay.
And now, have you seen the other found footage called Final Prayer?
Which one?
It's called Final Prayer.
No, I'd have to look into. I thought I watched a lot of these these movies. I'm like, I don't know this one either.
I don't think I've heard that one.
It is. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It might be under a different name because all of a sudden the other day I saw it under a different name and I was like, what's going on? Why are they, renaming it? But see, I'm really bad with accents, but I'm pretty sure that this took place in England, or it could be Australia or West Africa. I don't know. But no, I think it was England. But it was pretty cool. It was like the Catholic Church kind of hiring this guy who was a major debunker when people like churches call and say, I have a miracle, like
Oh, yeah.
if all of a sudden they say that the Statue of Mary is bleeding from her eyes or her hands or there's ghostly noises going on everywhere, they call in this guy to kind of go and debunk the claims because the church wants to declare it a miracle so that the attendance in the church
Okay,
knows
this one rings a bell.
Okay. But anyway, it was just really, really good. It's very suspenseful and but it is a found footage, so I
Okay.
won't tell you
I
what
think
happened, but yeah, it's very
we've
good.
been talking about ghosts, but one of my favorite found footage, and some people like it and some people hate it, is Willow Creek with Bigfoot.
Oh, I love
Oh,
that
that was a
Bigfoot
good one. Mhm.
Yeah. I love that too. It was like an ordinary couple out in their little drive and they get in their arguments, you feel bad for the guy.
Well, and then you feel bad for the woman at the end because she's
Yeah.
going to be having little hybrid.
But one thing I liked about it, I liked about it is when you're at the post office and you see the missing sign for this one woman, and then all of a sudden, who do we see crying and naked in the woods?
Yep, this one woman.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of nice how they did that, though. It was very subtle, but you had to pay attention and go.
Yeah.
But yeah, Willow Creek is up there with my favorite Bigfoot movie.
And then another one that I really like, and it's Spanish. It's the Wreck movies. So they did Quarantine in the States.
Yeah, Wreck was really good.
Yeah, 1 and 2 were really good. 3 started to go a little crazy. There was the one on the ship that I liked, but there was one where it turned out So if you don't know Rec, it's a virus infects people and they become like zombies, like 28 days later zombies, not like I'm going to eat your flesh zombies. Yeah. Where I thought it went downhill is when they had the wedding and it turns out the virus is actually allowing demons to possess people.
Oh, yeah.
That was
stupid.
Crap.
I was like, why did you do that? Yeah, I was watching that. I think I even yelled that at the TV going, why did you do that?
Yeah, and that kind of ruined it. I mean, I gotta tell you, I'm not into like dead people zombies, but I do like rage virus infected zombies.
What does that say about you, Jacob?
I know, I'm not into dead things. Why do I ghost hunt?
So bad. Have you seen
Wasn't
that?
that a movie?
Not into dead things?
Yeah.
I think it was. I was trying to think. Where did that...
Yeah.
into dead things.
Though I did like the Dawn of the Dead remake, so I mean, there's that.
That was good, because that was like freaking... I mean, it's one of those movies that I wasn't expecting the zombies to start running.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit! It was. When I first saw that, I was like, oh my god!
But overall, I'm not into cannibalism, so it's like I'm not going on my way to do Hills Have Eyes or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Though I do appreciate chainsaw deaths. Don't get me wrong, I love a slasher. I'm just not into filleting nubile teens. Okay.
Yeah, then eating them for dinner.
Yeah.
And having the whole deranged family, grossly
But
eating with their mouths open.
Yeah, but they've got to have some killer barbecue sauce. I mean, it's Texas, and they are barbecuing people. So I'm sure that barbecue sauce is sweet. A little tangy. It might be AB positive based.
Yeah, be positive. But, it's like if the barbecue sauce is too tangy, it's like, why even put it on humans? It's like, come on, people. It's like, you're not even going to taste the flesh. You're going to,
So, June.
Yes.
What do you know about tangy human flesh?
You never know. I mean,
okay.
I know when I put barbecue sauce on certain meat, it like totally, I can't even taste the meat. So I might as well just be eating the barbecue sauce. Yes, it overpowers.
Yes. My favorite is Carolina mustard myself.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think I heard you talk about that on another show. Were you talking about that with Kim and Gabby?
I think it was Kim and Gabby we were talking about, because I think we were talking about people being eaten.
And you like the mustard bar.
But so, Wendy, we haven't heard like your side of the house with horror movies and your favorite subgenre, because we hit on cannibals, zombies, wee beasties.
Okay, my favorite found footage, would be, from actually a TV series, The Psych, and they called it Lassie Jerky because, they thought that Bigfoot had pulled Lassiter away and put him on the barbecue spit.
Oh.
That was great.
Right?
That was funny.
But I need more of the humor with it. Oh shoot. The one, what's his face versus evil.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, Ash versus
Tucker and
Oh yeah. I love those. Yeah.
Tucker and Dale, yeah.
That is awesome. Yes.
Right.
People, if you have not seen that, if you want something really funny and you have not seen that, yes.
Tucker and Dale versus evil.
Yes.
It's, oh my gosh, I laughed so hard.
I did too. I had to, or I would have thrown up.
But we can go down to the the comedy horror movies.
Oh yeah.
Like some of your favorite comedy horrors. I just watched. Did you just watch that too? Dead Detectives.
Oh no, I haven't seen that one. That sounds amazing though.
So good. And I'm trying to think. It's really a good sign when you watch a movie and you're thinking that it was a foreign movie, but you don't really remember reading the subtitles. And it was dubbed, and I was thinking, I think that this was a foreign movie, but I can't remember. I didn't look it up. I should have looked it up. But yeah, it was really cute. It was a little slow at first, but then it really picked up and it was really good.
Okay, well, I'm going to drop this trailer in the chat. This sounds interesting. Oh, it's a Shudder original. I love Shudder.
Ah, yes. I have my Shudder subscription.
I was going to say I'm a big fan of Slasher.
Oh, are you?
Have you watched Slasher?
Oh, yes, I have. I was trying to think. Yes, I have. I watched it. It's a series.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Very good series, Wendy. It's like,
Yes.
ooh, but lots of gore. One of my other comedy absolute favorite, I have to say, this is up here on my top 10 favorite movies. And I can't tell you what my top 10 favorite movies are because I change all the time. But one of my favorite is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh, yeah, no, that's the vampire one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The first one. I like the series too, but have you seen that, Wendy?
I've seen the movie. I don't believe I've seen the series.
The series is cute, but the
Okay.
movie is just the best.
Hmm.
It made me laugh so much, especially with the werewolves come in and the werewolves start, they start cussing or something. It's like, remember, we're not swearwolves, we're werewolves. I was like, oh my gosh.
Now, where would one find that series at, June?
Let me think. Where is the series on? I think I bought it. I think it was on Amazon, and I just downloaded it and bought it.
Okay.
But I can't remember where it was showing.
Yeah, I mean, you can rent it for $2.99 on Amazon.
But I was trying to think. Isn't it on just a regular network though?
Yeah, I think it became a TV series too.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Hulu or Netflix, one of those two. It might be Hulu.
Yeah, because I was like, I can't remember. I thought it was on like not the CW, but one of those a network.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's a streaming network
The
though.
series is cute, but it's not. It's not the movie. So. And everything, but yeah, that's one of my favorite. I was gonna say comedy. And have you seen Ghost Team?
No.
I think that is a Spanish one,
Okay.
Ah.
I think it's from Mexico actually.
Mm.
But yeah, it's another one that. These two guys are ghost hunters, and they're afraid of everything, of course. And then they get this girl who's absolutely beautiful, of course, and they're both in love with her, and it's really funny.
Mm.
Well, on HBO, there's a new series, and it's called Los Spookies.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
It's pretty ridiculous, but I mean, at the same time, it's hard to stop watching it.
Yeah, it's so silly. It's so cute.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Jacob?
No, I know of it. We've been meaning to watch it. I'm going to drop the trailer for it. Yeah, it's on HBO.
Yes. Yeah,
And
Philemon
it's not
actually
actual-
did that.
Not actual horror, but because they put on staged events like Halloween type parties and what have you. Amazing special effects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think my go-to funny one is Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
and
one of my
Zombieland.
top 10.
Mind you, I'm not into zombies, but I like it when it's funny.
Yeah, especially when the Bill Murray part.
Mhm.
That was like so funny. You've seen Zombieland, haven't you, Wendy?
No, I don't believe so. And I've seen Zombies.
Oh, that was good too.
Yeah.
Have you seen Zombies, Jacob?
I'm going to have to look that one. Oh, what was the gore porn by Peter Jackson? It's the New Zealand movie. I think it's Dead Alive.
Oh, that was horrible. I mean, no, it was great.
But it was
It was great, but it was horrible. Oh my god. It's so
I see.
gross. It's one of those movies that you just, when you watch and you see like you see something happen, you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they just did that.
Yeah,
Oh.
zombie baby, lawnmowers. It's amazing.
The lawnmower going over the zombies, that was so gross.
How's
No,
you mow
you-
them down? Yeah.
Actually, I think the grossest part of that movie is when the mother starts losing like her body parts and things like that,
Yes.
and it falls in her soup.
Mhm.
When
And
just
this
say,
is Peter Jackson, okay? You know, Academy Award winner.
yes.
Right, right.
Yeah, let's just say that part was like, I had to like actually swallow because I was like, oh, ugh. But I do like how they got the virus.
Mm-hmm. That was good. And then they came out with one with zombie sheep. That was amazing.
Yes. Yes, those are great. Those are.
What
Well,
was
what about
Black sheep. That's it.
Black sheep? That was it. That
Yeah.
was so funny. Oh my god. Yeah, that was good, Wendy. You have to take notes. These are.
I'm dropping everything in chat.
Well, there was the other one too. The zombie movie. What's it called? It's Australian. It's called Dead. Oh my god. What
Oh, is this where
that?
they're on the island? And it's like a high-end resort island and the zombies take over?
No, actually, no. This one was this one was concerning aliens.
Oh.
Was oh my gosh.
Zombies?
Oh, is it kind of like Mad Maxy, though? Like Mad Max-esque?
It had fish zombies.
Oh. Fish zombies?
Flying fish zombies.
Just,
They
what?
and the fish came flying into
Just,
the boat.
I'm looking this
Right.
up.
And oh my gosh, what was it? It's dead alive. No, dead. It has dead in the title.
Dead mackerel?
No. Dead man. Yeah. And let's see what else. I can't. But it was a little slow, but it was really a good movie, and it had to do with you think that the aliens are causing this, but they're actually. I mean, I can't tell you if you haven't seen it, but it's
Well, I have to push a can because nobody's gonna watch
yeah,
it.
nobody's gonna It's really, I mean, if you want to see zombie, fish, it's like, worth it. Just that part. But no, you.
Is it Undead?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
I had dead in there.
Undead fish scene. Okay, we're going to drop this one.
But it was, but yeah, you think that the aliens are causing this, but they're actually curing people, and they have to bring them up into the air for a while for like quarantine, and then they bring them back down and everything. But it's really a good movie. Yeah, I really enjoyed that one too. I forgot about that. But
I think this is the best chat session we ever had. It's just non-stop, gory horror movie clips.
yes.
Now, I was going to suggest that if Ross is still with you in the other chat, he's more than welcome to call in, or we can call him, either one, if he wants to chime in.
Actually, he can't.
He
has-
can't?
His contract says he cannot be on a show, but only one time. So we have to save it.
Oh.
Even as a co-host?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even
Okay.
as on a podcast, any of that. So unfortunately, he can only like chat and say hi.
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Then. Sorry,
Okay.
Ross, I tried.
But he did drop Zombie Beavers, so I'm assuming it's Zombievers from 2015.
Yeah. Of course he
Which
would.
I've seen this one too, and I loved it.
Yeah, me too. It's really funny.
Yeah,
Oh,
I never even heard of it.
What about zombies versus strippers?
Oh, that was amazing. I saw...
all these movies you have to like take notes and watch. No, that had Jenna Jameson in it.
She is an amazingly talented actress.
It was actually really freaking funny. That's what I have to say. Yeah, zombies versus strippers.
Okay, I'm dropping this. The funny. Oh, wow, that's loud.
Uh-oh. What's that?
No, because like whenever I bring up the trailers and stuff, it's blasting me through my headsets. You guys can't hear it.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that was loud.
I hate when that happens.
Oh, God.
Well, now, a newer television series that was based off of, I guess, a YouTube channel production was Two Sentence Horror Stories. It's on the CW on Thursday nights. And now that was, holy crap. I mean, the one where I think they were Asian Americans, but, with their freaky ghosts that they have so much. And I tell you what, I mean, it was good. Now there were a few others that were more just, psychological thrillers, but and a couple that were gross out as well. But
Of course.
yes, of course, the flesh-eating bacteria, virusy type things.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yeah. But I think you would really enjoy it if you had the notion and wanted to go watch.
Yeah, I kept trying to find it, but all I got were the trailers, so I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to see if I can see it.
Okay, well, they've got a trailer. I'll put the inside look up here in the chat from the CW.
Okay.
So, speaking of flesh-eating ones, have you seen The Bay?
I have. With
That was really
that's a
good.
found footage one too.
Yeah, that's another found footage one.
Um,
I'm sorry, I keep going back to found
To
footage.
me, I
All right.
think. Well, I mean, that's kind of like
It was, like,
wee
really
beastie.
real.
That's like parasitic.
Yeah, that's not really flesh-eating.
Yeah, but if you've seen the Cabin Fevers,
Oh,
those are that's some gornography right there with
Yes.
melting parts.
that is so gross. Yeah, that's really gross. Yeah. I have a hard time watching things like that. I have to say, I don't know why, but I really liked Hatchet.
Oh my God, Gonzo Slasher! I love Gonzo Slashers.
Gonzo Slash.
With Crowley.
Sesame Street Gonzo.
Yes.
or-
Yeah. Oh my God, I love the Hatchet movies.
Me too. I just love it. But the gore is so over the top. It's hilarious.
Off
Yeah.
the charts.
Especially when he comes to, like, this one woman and pulls her mouth apart and her
Mhm.
tongue is just
Oh,
flapping.
that is classic.
And you're laughing because it's like, this is gross.
Okay,
It's so funny.
I'm dropping the kill counter in here for Hatchet because Hatchet racks up a body count.
And by the last movie, I can't even tell you. I think they brought in like 500 extras just so he could kill them all in different ways.
Yes. I mean, so this is like a horror. I mean, it doesn't try to be a comedy, but it knows it's a slasher flick. So,
The first one, I love this. I love the humor
Yeah.
in it,
Mhm.
and that's one thing. It's just so funny. Especially it was Marcus. He is the, of course, the funny, part, but
Mhm.
he's just so good. His timing is great on something. Oh my god.
I love the Hatchet. So since we're on the subject of slashers, let's take a moment to reflect on some slasher franchises.
Okay.
So, I was not the biggest fan of, and this is heresy, of 80s slasher movies.
No.
Unless it's like A Nightmare on Elm Street. I loved my Freddy movies.
Yes.
And, Halloween, let's just say,
I'm a fan of Friday the 13th, though.
Well, so with Friday the 13th, I mean, let's get there because there's only like 50 gazillion movies there. For me,
Yeah.
I can rattle them off. I like 1, 3, 4, 6. I did like 7, The New Blood, because I like a mutant telekinetic. Spoiler alert, it's only 30 years old, but 7, The New Blood with Tina the telekinetic.
What about 10?
Oh, in space, please. But I did enjoy Jason versus Freddy because I love Freddy.
Yeah, that was fun.
And I did like the remake with the Jared Padalecki from Supernatural. I did like that one.
He's pretty adorable anyway.
He's all bearded and manly for season 15 on Supernatural.
It's so awful. I have to say this, that I stopped watching it right after the father died.
Oh, that's like season 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was thinking, I had to go catch up, and watch all of them. And I thought,
Girl, that's a lot of
"Oh my God,
catch
we're
up."
on, like, season 15. I think it's going to take me months. If that's all I watch.
So I have watched Supernatural from day one.
Right.
So it's one of my favorite shows. It's right up there with like Buffy and X-Files when it comes to genre for me. So if you're going to watch What's that? What?
When you watch
What?
In chat.
We're talking about horror movies. We're not talking about porn.
like his favorite movies.
Handjob Cabin. He's dropping a link. Okay, we'll watch that one. We'll watch that one in a little bit.
In a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So June though, Supernatural. You gotta watch the first 5 seasons. After that, I would say 7 was good.
Skip to 7.
9 was good. 12 was good.
Leviathans were stupid.
Oh, that's season 6. We can skip that shit. Leviathans were awful.
Absolutely.
Yeah, get rid of that. Let's see. You got to watch the ones with the darkness. Amara, the darkness. That's a good one.
Those were, yeah, not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that was around season 10, 11, 12. I have to look at my Supernatural big bads that's how I know the season is by the big bad. I wasn't the biggest fan of this past season. I didn't like how it started, and I didn't like how it ended. It had its moments in between.
Poor Jack. That
yeah.
poor kid.
Well, it's not easy being a Nephilim.
No, it's not.
Yeah, especially when you lose your grace and you gotta go get it back, and then you kill people's mothers.
Yeah.
I did like the season with the Men of Letters in it. I can't remember if that was 11 or 12. They stuck around for 2 seasons.
Yeah,
But-
I think you're right.
Yeah, it was like the British Hunters. Those are really good. So really, you have to watch all of them except for like 6. How's that?
Okay. I will do that. It'll be on my list.
Skip 6. That's the Hangover season because they thought it'd only last 5
So
years.
Only 14 years. And
Yeah, you just need 14 years.
15. Well, speaking of also that, you mentioned Buffy.
I know.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like one of my favorite series ever, and I still have marathon Buffy days.
Oh, me too. I can sit down. So let's just talk big bads. All right, let's just
All
talk.
right.
We'll start with the first season. Okay, so we have the Master. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's a mid-season replacement. I'm cool with the Master. I liked it. He didn't last long into season 2.
Definitely didn't.
And then we had Angelus, the mirror version of Angel. I was never an Angel fan, so I was kind of fine with him getting the sword through him and sucked into.
Blasphemer! Oh my word!
Honestly, that storyline, I don't know. It's just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
yeah, I could watch it because I like Buffy.
love turned on her, and then
I
she had to
know.
just.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah,
horrible.
it was.
Mm-hmm. And then,
Oh, you're right, Ross. Friday the 13th, the series. I'm sorry.
oh, I
That's
like
not-
Friday the 13th, the series with the haunted objects.
Oh, that
Me
was
too.
great.
Yes.
With Roby. Wasn't her when she just called herself Roby or
Oh,
Roby?
yeah, the lady in it, yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Ross was trying to get her for when they were thinking about doing a Friday the 13th program,
Mhm.
and thought it would be great, but it didn't. It unfortunately didn't come through.
Mm.
But yeah, that Friday the 13th series was one of my favorites. I loved that.
Yeah, and we were lacking genre at that time. And I did like Freddy's Nightmares, too.
Did I see Freddy's Nightmare?
I think
was
it
gonna
lasted
say, I
3
don't quite
seasons.
remember that.
Yeah, it was an anthology, kind of like Twilight Zone. There were a couple of...
Okay.
It was on at like 10 at night on USA or something like that.
Well, and then you had Poltergeist: The Legacy.
Yeah,
I
loved that.
didn't watch that.
Oh, you're kidding!
No.
What's wrong with you?
I'm going to have to... Just wait one moment. Let me see what I
Okay.
can retrieve.
You're gonna
Talk amongst yourselves.
drop
Yeah.
poor links. But
I-
yeah, Buff was they took it too far, like at the end with Glory, and I really couldn't stand Dawn.
Oh, I
Oh,
know. It's like, why
yeah.
did they put Dawn in there?
Oh, the key. I'm like, someone lock her away. I could not
Yes.
stand
Yeah.
effing Dawn.
Just push her off that scaffolding and
Yeah.
let's get off the show.
Yeah, I was just, yeah.
Yes.
It's like, don't even push her through the portal. Just push her off the top of the
Yeah.
scaffolding and let her splat. Yeah, could not stand Dawn.
So annoying.
Yeah.
Everything that she did. It wasn't me. I didn't do it.
Yeah.
She hates me.
Bratty little sister. Yeah, drowned that one in the bathtub at birth.
But I have to say, though, I loved I loved Willow's story with Tara.
Mhm.
I loved loved it. And then
Yeah.
when Tara got shot, I
Mhm.
mean,
We had Dark Willow. Yeah.
Yeah, she was the big bad of
that was
6.
pretty cool, though, actually. All of a sudden, you thought, let's get revenge.
Yeah.
I felt no sympathy for her filleting Warren.
Yeah,
Oh God, no.
no,
He
none
needed it.
whatsoever.
He needed it, yeah.
Now, my
He needed a good fillet,
Yeah.
damn it.
so my favorite big bad was the Mayor / Faith, season 3. That was my favorite big
Oh,
bad.
Yes.
And then Adam, the hybrid chimera.
Cyborg.
eh,
I thought he was fun.
eh.
But
Eh.
yeah, he was a little too serious, though, for me, actually.
I did like Glory a lot, though.
Yeah,
I-
she was like
I did like Glory.
the little beauty queen with the, yeah.
Yeah. And then
My minions!
those little dwarfy things running.
Yes. She was like, how am I supposed to rule the world in these crappy ass shoes? Yeah, that was fun.
And then I thought the final season was hit or miss with the first evil, but I was really into the evil pastor
Yeah.
or priest dude,
Yeah, that was,
Nathan Fillion.
wasn't it?
Oh yes, I'm really into him anyway.
Yes.
Mhm.
Anything he does.
Yeah, and I like that, but the first evil was just I did like the vamp. What do you call those proto-vamp things?
Super Van.
Yeah, and I liked the female empowerment part where all the potential slayers became full slayers.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I like that battle, but that season is like with season 4, which was Adam was just me.
Yeah.
They went a couple seasons too far. Like when they brought her back from the dead, it was just.
It's like they jumped the shark.
Yeah,
Yep.
Brought it back.
yeah.
But what did you think of the musical?
Oh,
I
once more
love
with
the
feeling.
musical.
Once
Yeah.
more with
Yes.
more feeling.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did like that one. I think my favorite episode of Buffy is the one with the gentleman.
Yes, mine too.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Pinky!
Yes, we're just made for each other, Jake.
We are. Ross is like lining up to have me pushed in front of a bus right now.
Hey, that was another season, wasn't it?
Oh, we haven't even talked about the Final Destinations.
Oh yes, it's like when we are like when we're driving on the road, and every time I see a lumber truck,
No. That is my favorite. Okay, so I would say that for the past 20 years or so, that is my second favorite horror movie opening sequence. The interstate pileup from Final Destination 2.
Let me guess what your first one is, okay?
Okay.
Is it Ghost Ship?
No. Oh, where the people got split in two by the wire going. That's okay. I didn't care for Ghost Ship. That is not it, but I do appreciate that scene.
The opening scene for that actually was just like, wow.
I mean, that was pretty
That
good.
was all of that movie that I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you're
so-
like, I'm done.
Yeah, my big problem with that though is the CGI was obvious CGI.
Bad CGI.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and so that knocks it down. But I'll let you make another guess, and this is probably my favorite horror movie from the 90s.
From the 90s. Oh my gosh, let's see. Opening scene. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I can't think. You'll have to tell me, but we'll have silence for like 10 minutes.
Okay, are you ready? It is. It is. It starts with. Do you like scary movies?
Scream.
It's Scream.
Yes.
The
Love
opening
that.
sequence to Scream.
Miss Barrymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I even let's see which was the last one. I think I enjoyed all of them actually. Some weren't that great, but I enjoyed.
Yeah, they were watchable. I mean, I didn't like part 3, which is they go back to Hollywood and it's got Jenny
But
McCarthy.
it was kind of cute. It had Carrie Fisher
Yeah.
in there. And
Uh-huh.
I said, everybody says I look like her.
Hmm.
But she
And-
goes, I didn't sleep around or something.
Yeah, and I did like Scream 4. I mean, I thought it was good social. Which Scream was that? I think it was 4, where it's her niece was killing everyone because she wanted a cult following.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is kind of scary because I can see that happen.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can totally see that happening, right?
Yes.
Fuck friends, I want fans.
Yes.
Oh, that's the E explicit tag right there.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oops, I'll go back. Beep.
It's
But-
okay, guys. It's okay. We're not regulated by the FCC.
Okay, that's fine. But let's just take, it's now over, but let's just look at the 2000s, and it was the period of gornography.
Pornography. Ooh.
Saw, Hostel.
You know, honestly, Hostel was a good movie. It really was. But I can never watch those movies again. That was horrible.
So I'm more of a Saw fan than the Hostels. However, like with the first few movies, I get why the victims were chosen, and I kind of like the mastermind approach to it. And of course, you know, I loves me a killer trap. Especially when
It's so
there's
creative, yeah.
when everyone can get out of them. Mind you, you lose a limb or a couple gallons of blood, but you could get out of them. But they jumped the shark. You know, after Jigsaw died, they
Right.
jumped the shark.
Let's try every single thing we can find.
And all the
Did you
apprentices
see-
and
did you
stuff.
see Escape Room?
I did. I liked that.
Yes,
not seen
I
that.
did too. Actually,
Yeah,
It was
Escape.
like
pretty
it?
intense.
I was watching the preview and I was like, do I want to watch this or not? So if we both liked it, then I might watch it.
But I think when it comes to now the second Hostel, though, that one was just senseless
Yeah, that was
with
so
the girls
stupid.
in it. That was just senseless. But from the period, I think my favorite gornography, and it's a remake or reimagining, was Evil Dead, which made me feel
That was
awful.
Really good. I
But
was surprised too.
yeah, but it was gory and creepy. It wasn't really a scary movie, but oh, and that also brings up at the same time, and this is one of my favorite movies from the time, is Cabin in the Woods.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Cabin in the
I
Woods.
love Choose Your Own Adventure Death.
It
Yes.
was great. You know, it was really funny. For some reason, I had a aversion to watching it.
What?
So I don't know what it was. You know, for a long time, I was like, I don't.
It was
think I'm
Buffy
really gonna
Dude.
like it. Because people were like, oh, you know,
But June, Chris Hemsworth.
And Buffy
oh, yeah,
Dude.
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, it was so funny because I didn't really know, you know, that, and then I found out that
Oh.
Joss Whedon was
Yep,
directed
the director. Mhm.
and I was like, you know, I think I might watch this, and I watched it. I was like, oh my god, why did I wait so long? It's like, you know, one of my top 10 favorite movies.
Mhm.
I do, yeah. It's one of my favorite horror movies for sure.
It was great.
It really was.
Because the comedy and the horror both
Yes.
were so good.
Yeah, and it was gory.
Yeah,
I mean, it was a gory movie.
Yes, it was. Yeah, but I still liked it. So
Yeah,
that
that's
says
really
something.
Yeah, that's when that outweighs the gore.
Yeah.
Know, when horror and comedy outweigh the brutalness and gore.
Yes.
But,
Mhm.
Yes. Mhm.
but Chris Hemsworth, yes. Oh,
Yeah, but I gotta say, his death was. If we were gonna give the lame,
but I knew something was going to happen.
yeah,
Oh, God,
yeah. And what I thought was really fun is how they were comparing all the different countries trying to, spoiler alert, end the old gods destroying the world, and they're like,
Yeah.
the little Japanese schoolgirls could get their shit together, and the
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I know, it's like, I can't believe it comes down to the Americans.
Yeah.
That was pretty sad. Yeah, and we screwed it up.
We screwed it up.
Oh my god, that was great though. The ending was really good on that too. Actually,
Yeah, it was not a happy ending for sure.
No. I usually always like when things work out somehow and it's kind of a happy ending. I usually always like that. But you know, I thought that was apropos and it was like
Yeah.
really good. I was like, damn.
Ain't no sequel to this movie.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So let's go ahead, Wendy.
Oh, I was going to say, Ross would like to talk about the 70s and 80s ghost movies.
He would?
Yeah.
I'm in the chat. I'm not. Did he move over to the website?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're like, where's
Let's talk 70s to 80s ghost movies. Okay, and don't forget, we have to do the Satanic Panic movies, too.
The Satanic
Well, of
Panic, yeah.
course, yeah.
Like Daughters of Satan.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely one of my favorites. Daughters of Satan. Yeah, I'm so scared. Yeah. Let's see, I'm trying to think. What are the 70s and 80s ghost movies? I'm not thinking besides Ghostbusters.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite horror movies from the period Haunted House was Burnt Offerings.
Oh, yeah.
I really like Burnt
That was
Offerings.
good. That was really good.
It really was.
Creepy, but
And then there was Ghost Story,
Yes.
too, which I think started with the 20s and then moved into the modern day where it was haunting the old guys.
yeah, because they killed her.
Yeah.
Left her in the back of accidentally they thought they killed her and then put her in the back of the car and they saw her
Put her in
get
the
up.
lake.
She was, as the car was going under.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, yes.
And Bet's
then
like,
she
oops,
came
we've
back
committed.
for revenge.
Damn. Revenge. I will have your souls.
With a little mustard sauce.
With some Carolina mustard.
Yummy.
That's delicious. Can I have some Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A?
So bad.
So I was going to say, like, 70s ghost movies, Grandma wouldn't let me watch, so I'm kind of at loss at the 70s.
I've watched a lot of those. So
Like, I know
I'll watch
Suspiria or Suspira or however it's pronounced. I remember that one from back in the day, and Gates to Hell, but that's a Satanic Panic one.
Oh, that was cute though. The little monsters,
Mhm.
and it was almost like these two. Have you ever seen that, Wendy?
I
With
think so.
the two young boys, and the one boy lost his mother, and so he was kind of going down this kind of sad, dark path, and but nothing can compare to Trolls 2, you know. You know. I do love the first Trolls movie, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, in the 80s, because that's when I started getting to my horror movies, and we had the slashers. We talked about the big slasher series, but my favorite horror movie from the 80s is The Howling.
Yes, I love The Howling.
All the other ones sucked, but...
Dee Wallace was so cute when she turned. This cute little Pekingese.
But that set up, like, the modern werewolf. We had, Legend of Hell House was pretty good, too.
Yeah, that
Oh,
was
yeah.
one of my favorites, too.
Well,
Yeah.
and you've got The Haunting, but
Yeah.
that was 60s. Yeah.
But yeah, the werewolf movies from the 80s, and I think it started with The Howling, an American Werewolf in London, and got capped off with Dog Soldiers at the
Oh,
end.
that one
Like,
was freaky.
yeah,
Yeah.
the 80s was definitely the best movies were werewolf movies versus...
Yes. Yep.
However, Lost Boys.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And that's vampire.
Can't forget that, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I wasn't... So Ross is dropping Amityville Horror. It didn't do anything for me.
Oh, I loved Amityville.
But I did like Poltergeist. I mean, Poltergeist is an 80s one for sure.
Amityville scared the crap out of me, but I was just that age.
Do you know that was like one of my very first, very first novels, one of them that I read, Amityville Horror, and it was really funny because, of course, at the beginning it says, based on a true story, or the events you're reading are all true, or something like this, and I don't know how old I was, maybe 13, 14, maybe, when
Okay.
you wrote the book. I was trying to think. And I remember reading the book and just going, oh my God, this is, I can't believe this is all true. I believed, that it was all true, but of course now I'm a whole other story. But, but I thought it was a little much, though, the movie with the blood coming down the walls and then, all this stuff. It's like, oh,
It was
really?
it was the red eyes in the window that got me.
yeah.
And still to this day, sometimes I'll go,
As you look out the window.
Draw
Please.
that shade.
Yeah. Exactly. Or, it also affects a lot of people because we actually had a client call us, or not a client, but someone who wanted to be a client and telling me the story about her daughter befriending this, invisible entity. And when she walked into the room, the rocking chair was rocking. And she asked her daughter, who was that? And she said, it's my friend Jody. And then, of course, she looked out the window and there were these red glowing eyes looking back at her. And I was like, oh, God.
No,
Oh,
all right.
yes. Yeah, sorry. But, yeah, of course, one of my absolute favorite movies from the 80s is The Changeling.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute favorite.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
it's
the
when I'm at the
creepy.
bottom of the stairs and one of the dogs will throw a ball down.
And it's wet.
Oh, House is Ross put House, that's a comedy in there. The one subject we haven't hit on, though, is sci-fi horror. Because to me, The Thing is like the ultimate sci-fi horror movie right up there with Alien.
I did like that. I still like to watch it. And the effects are still pretty, gross. It's like, oh, but I don't like the dogs being killed.
Yeah, no, not a fan of that.
Yeah, but, yeah.
I mean, kill the people, but you gotta leave the dogs alone.
Yes. Leave the animals alone, movie people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, House was actually really fun. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. William Cat, he's so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Greatest American hero.
Look at what's happened to me.
So we should be on the subject because we're not getting much original horror anymore. Everything's a reboot or a reimagining.
Well, I can tell you two movies that were released not too long ago that I really enjoy, and I don't know if you've seen They're Watching.
Oh yeah, I have seen that one.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think you'd like that too, Wendy, actually.
Okay.
But it's called They're Watching, and the other one was Final Girls, and that's
I
a comedy horror.
did, and that's right up there with You Might Be the Killer as well. It's in that vein.
Exactly.
Yeah, I did like Final Girls a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Never even heard of it.
Yeah, I think you'd really like that one, Wendy. That's a really good one because they basically go back in through a movie, and it's an 80s slasher movie. So it's from like 1984 or something like that, and it's really, really cute. And it's like, aw.
Well, yeah, and then you've got the ones like, what was that, Night of the Comet?
Oh yeah.
So that's a good zombie movie.
That was one of my favorites too. That's up there with my top 10. How many top 10s have I had so far?
20.
Yeah, I think so. It's still my top 10. That's my top 10 80s movies, yes. I'll have to do different categories now.
I know. But did you guys see the latest Halloween with
No.
Jamie Lee back?
I did.
And
I mean, there were some parts I really kind of liked about it. I thought it was, I thought it was kind of nice that, she, she was grandma, and that, they just thought she was insane. She was crazy. And then grandma became a badass.
Yep. I did like that. Can we spoil it?
Yeah.
You bet.
Okay. My favorite part of the movie was at the end where the house was the trap for Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the movie I was just meh about, but
Yeah.
I liked how everyone was trained in combat, essentially, to take out
because
Michael
she
Myers.
basically trained them, from when they were little, because she was expecting, him to come for her. So basically but they just thought she was insane, and they held it against her because, they didn't, have the greatest childhood, or the mother, of course, didn't have the greatest childhood. And, she held it against her, and she didn't really think, thought it was, we don't have to do this.
I like those, yeah.
And then,
Granny knows best.
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis. It's like, have you watched her in Scream Queens?
Oh, yeah. I like that TV show. I'm kind of surprised it found its home on Fox, but I really liked that show.
Have you seen that, Wendy?
I don't believe so. I think
Oh
I've
my
heard
gosh.
of it, but yeah.
It's over the top silly.
Okay.
There's several parts that had just made me laugh hysterically because it's so bad. And Jamie Lee Curtis is actually the first. She's the principal, and then for another season, she is the what is she? The charge of the hospital
Mm-hmm.
and everything. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm finding the TV series are getting better than the movies.
Yeah, some of them are. It's just like, oh my god, this is so fun.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got like Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Oh, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. That's one of my
Thank you,
favorite
yes.
shows.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. I love Auntie Hilda.
Yeah,
Yes.
I did too. Oh my gosh, yeah, I couldn't get enough of that. That was really nice. I was like, it's over already?
I know.
What?
More
Mhm.
seasons.
I want more Sabrina.
I need to know what happens next.
Aren't they coming out with more? Or
I-
was that it?
I thought they were.
I thought they were too. I just hadn't seen it so far. So
Yeah, I haven't seen any updates or anything.
Yeah,
But I
me
thought
either.
they gonna be another season.
Yeah, there'll be another one, but they came out with the second season, and then they had that one special, Christmas special.
right.
It came out back to back to back to back. It was pretty rapid fire.
Really good.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
one.
But yeah.
And then, I mean, for TV, I mean, the big one is American Horror Story.
Yes.
But that's the kind of thing where you got to
So-
pick your
so-
seasons.
What are your favorite seasons?
Okay, I'll just go through all of them. So just in September 1984 comes out, and everything we know about it is that it's going to be a riff on 80s slasher movies because it looks like Friday the 13th.
I hope it's gonna be
But
good.
you know it's American Horror Story, so there's going to be something else going on.
Exactly.
So first season, Murder House. I mean, I just straight up loved Murder House. Season 2, Asylum, is my favorite season.
I love that too.
Season 3 with Coven, it was hit or miss.
I loved it.
I like the ending of it. I
Yeah,
like the start and I like
really
the
good.
ending, and the stuff in the middle.
Some of it was a little like, yeah.
Yeah.
But I really did enjoy Coven.
Yeah. 4 with Freak Show, the circus one. You know, it started slow, but once things got moving, I really, really liked it. And to me, season 4 had the most satisfying ending.
Yeah, that was something else.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so if you
Did
don't
see
know,
those, Wendy? Have you seen them?
I watched one or two of them, and I think there was something else on at the same time,
Oh,
and
Okay.
I went that direction, the other direction.
okay. But you know, it hops around. There's all unifying parts. So Murder House was modern day Los Angeles. Asylum was early 60s Massachusetts. Coven was modern day New Orleans. Freak Show was 50s Florida. Season 5 was Hotel, which was late 70s, early 80s Los Angeles. Hotel did nothing for me.
Yeah, I have to say that was one of my least favorite seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think if there were some parts that I enjoyed.
There was like
In it.
one character I liked on the show, and that was Elizabeth Taylor, the dude
Yeah,
in
Elizabeth
drag.
Taylor, yeah, that
Yeah.
was really good. I liked how, I did like it with his death scene, and then, then he's back.
Being reborn in the hotel, yes. My second favorite season, a lot of people are like, what? I really liked Roanoke.
Me too.
Oh
but
my
I'm
god,
like,
Pinky, Pinky,
I know,
Pinky!
it's like, oh, that's so sweet. No, me too, because everybody's like, oh, that was so stupid. I really liked it.
I
It was
liked
like it was like a My Ghost story.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And I liked the second season. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how they
not the second season. Their
so-
second season.
Yeah, so part 6 is about Roanoke, but it has parallel stories and then it switches. So the first half is the reality show, and you're mixing between the actors and the people that really went through Roanoke, the house. And then it flips, and then you're actually at the house. And it's super gory, and I love the butcher.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Kathy Bates
Yeah.
was so good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, especially her playing the butcher.
Mm-hmm.
I can't even do it.
And so it was modern day North Carolina, even though it was obvious they were in Southern California.
Yeah, palm tree in the background.
Yeah,
sometimes,
desert. They have so much desert in North Carolina, you know.
Yeah,
And then Cult was modern day Michigan. And I started to like it 2/3 of the way through. The first 2/3 I didn't care for very much, but it was really good at the end.
I actually stopped watching it like right before the shooting part.
Okay.
And because I was like, I can't take this. I don't want to see this. This is stupid. And then of course one of my friends said, June, after that it gets really good. And I'm like, oh God, okay. And I tried it and I was like, oh yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm.
And the twists and turns and everything else, I was like, okay, this was good. I liked it. Yeah.
And then I think this past season, Apocalypse, and it had the Coven. I do like the Witches, but I thought this was a train wreck of a season. It didn't even end well.
I don't remember how it ended.
It was the future one with, it jumps between past and future and present, but it's the Coven Witches, and you've got the kid that was born at the end of the first season as the Antichrist, and he's bringing about the end of the world, so they're traveling back in time to stop it, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, I know it wasn't like very memorable for me because I don't remember it. So
yeah.
If it's not very memorable, then I know that it was meh.
Meh. It didn't do it for me.
I do like the looks of the kid that was brought back with his long hair.
Oh, the long blonde hair. Yeah.
Yes. I thought he was very pretty.
Because remember, even Lucifer was an angel.
Yes, that's true.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about Lucifer, the show.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, and the soundtrack for that show is amazing.
Yeah. Wasn't this on Netflix? Wasn't this considered the gratuitous booty of Lucifer season?
I believe it was, yes.
They went out of their way to show his booty a lot.
Mm-hmm.
He's very nice.
You can just Google image search on.
Lucifer's booty. Yeah, that might be a song too.
They have GIFs.
No, it was. I mean, I think it might have gotten a little. I don't know with Lucifer, but they're supposed to have another season again. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, they are. Mm-hmm.
so I'll be anxious to see where they take it again.
So I was like, Eve is trouble. Get the wench out of there.
Yeah, exactly.
More Lucifer, but less her.
Exactly.
Exactly. They had to have some eye candy for.
Well, and the brother, Amenadiel,
Mhm.
he
Good job.
was the son of the Slayer in Buffy. He was
Yeah.
the principal, and
He was the principal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah.
that's a very nicely built man. Yeah.
Very nice, yeah. It was very nice, yes. I wish they had more shirtless things, but they didn't.
We need to write them.
Yeah, exactly.
All of our listeners,
Beauty.
right?
Now, we need some more shirtless guys, but
Netflix,
I like
not
that.
Prime. Yeah.
That's right.
Exactly. Oh, my.
Your streaming subscription, more nudity. Thank you very much.
Oh, my. But,
That may be blaspheme again, but whatever.
sometimes you just have to.
Exactly. Live just a little.
Mm-hmm. So, are there any horror movies coming up that you are dying to see?
Well, It Chapter 2 was like the one I really wanted to see.
Yeah, so, I mean, the movie I was anticipating the most this year has already come out, and that was Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to go see that.
Yeah, so it's an anthology. I think, I mean, you've got the kids' books, and the stories in the kids' books are really short.
Right.
Okay.
So, but you could tell Del Toro was involved. I mean, I like anthology series, so my absolute favorite, like, Halloween movie is Trick or Treat. Yeah. Pinkies! Pinkies! And you hear Wally in the background. That's my German Shepherd Pitbull Werewolf mix. Okay.
Dude.
I do. Have you seen Trick or Treat, Wendy?
No, I have
That
not.
that is one I know you would like. Because
Okay.
it takes all these different stories
does.
and at the end it puts them together. And but they're really good.
Hmm.
Really good stories.
And it's bloody.
Yeah, but it's a good bloody.
Yeah, it's not gory blood. I mean, there might be some blood, but I would say it's not gratuitous blood. It's blood that is effective storytelling.
Okay.
Effective death storytelling?
Yes, I think so. It's really good though. It's just one of those that because at first you're just like, okay, but then it kind of puts it all together, and you're like, oh my god, this is great.
Mm-hmm. I think
Okay.
my favorite storyline, just besides Sam Hain going around everywhere and kind of being our guide.
What did you say, Samhain?
Well, no,
No, his name is Sam Hain.
it is Sam. It is Sam Hain.
My
Yeah.
bad, my bad.
No, it's okay. You haven't seen the movie, so go rent it. But I think my favorite storyline is the Anna Paquin storyline with her sisters.
Red Riding Hood.
Mm-hmm. Little Red Riding Hood.
Oh yes, yeah. I don't know if I saw that coming or not. I usually am really good about guessing,
Yeah, I did not see that one coming.
and I didn't either.
Yeah.
I knew something was off when Yeah.
Yeah, the only one of the twists I saw coming was probably the first kill sequence with the anti-Halloween lady.
Oh yes. I knew something was gonna get her.
Yeah, and was it the bus driver dude that was across the street with the kids? I saw that. I wasn't expecting the kid versus kid thing though. With the bus.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I have to say that.
Yeah. So it's got some good twists. It's got some good twists in it.
Did you
Yes.
guys see Nosferatu on same channel as Fear the Walking Dead?
I did not.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, let me go find the trailer.
Yes,
drop that in the chat.
NOS 4,
Oh yes. Oh yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking, but I actually read the book.
Oh,
And,
okay.
I just bought the series, so I've watched the first, I think, 3 or 4
Mhm.
so far on that. So it's kind of following the book, but in the book it starts off with her being a young girl, and she has a bike. And
Oh, okay.
a little bicycle.
A bicycle? Okay.
Yes, she has a little bicycle, and then when she gets older, then of course she.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And then the Scrabble girl, it's
Isn't
a
that
lot
the
different.
freakiest thing when she sticks her arm in her
Exactly.
into that bag? Oh,
Hermione and the bag that.
right, yeah.
I always think of that.
The pocket universe,
Yes.
yeah.
But yes, Nosferatu, it's
Oh.
really been good.
Oh, you know what? I did see the first episode of that.
Okay.
So,
And you didn't watch anymore, so you probably...
well, no, because Stranger Things came out. Stranger Things, so we
Right,
watched that.
Yes.
Yeah, I need to go back. I think, like I said, I'm only on 3 or 4, but maybe I'm a little bit further. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
But it's like, oh. But yeah, the book was really good. If you get a chance to read that book.
Okay.
And this is written by Joe Hill. And do you know who Joe Hill is? Anybody?
Let me
Anybody?
search for
Author
that.
of Nosferatu?
Yes.
Okay.
But he is Stephen King's son.
Oh, he doesn't use his last name?
No.
Okay.
He's got a pen name. Okay, good for him.
Yep. So just a little trivia in there. And he's really, and he also has this other book called The Heart-Shaped Box, that I bet you anything they're going to make into a movie.
Oh my goodness, he looks just like his dad.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You look for Joe Hill, and it's like, I honestly, I'm gonna say it, and I might get stabbed, but I honestly think that Joe Hill is a better writer than his dad.
Okay.
And I mean,
I do
writing-wise,
too. It moves a little faster. It's a little... Well, okay. At least
Yeah.
the movie adaptations are...
Yeah. So,
books are pretty exciting, and they have good endings. Some of Stephen King's, I'm sorry, I have to say it, some of Stephen King's book endings are not that great.
and it takes forever for his shit to get going. I mean, I like the setup. It's all required, but can you weave it in as the narrative moves along? Kind of thing.
So what is the lighthouse?
Yeah, what's the lighthouse? Let's look this up.
Yeah, Ross, what's the lighthouse?
Yeah, what's the lighthouse, homie?
I was like, did we miss that?
Is it a movie or a book or?
Maybe he's just talking about a lighthouse he saw one.
The lighthouse. 2 lighthouse keepers try to maintain their sanity while living in isolation on a remote island off the coast of Maine. It comes out October 18th, 2019. Robert Eggers is the director. Let me drop this trailer. Oh, it's by A24. A24 just brought us Midsummer, if you like your pagan horror stories.
I haven't seen that yet either. I need to see that.
I think I might have, but I've at
I
least
think it
heard
just
of it.
came out. I think it just came out.
Okay.
Yeah, Midsummer, it came out in early
Is it
August or
released?
July.
Oh, okay then. I probably just saw it.
Okay, I'm dropping the trailer for The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
I just dropped it.
Cool. I don't think I've ever even heard of this.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything about it.
It's exciting. I'm sure I would like it too.
Okay, well, we only have 5 minutes left.
I
So,
can't believe we've been talking about this like for 2 hours. And it's just-
yeah, so let's just do a quick round robin. Ross, drop it in the chat. What is probably your favorite indie horror movie? Something you may not, regular folks don't know about that they should go out and watch. Because I've got mine. Though I think most people know about it by now. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go.
The Babadook.
Oh, I wanted that child to die so bad.
I think I turned that off after about 10 minutes on the occasion.
That kid was so freaking annoying. It's like, let it have it. Sorry.
If it's not that one, it'd be Wolf Creek as the other one, which is the Australian slasher movie.
I liked Wolf Creek too. That was good. Well, yeah, okay, so you mean like off movie? Well, I have to say it's like that most people have not seen or are they're watching. That was like a
Okay.
really fun movie, and that most people haven't seen or know anything about yet. So that was fun.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah, we watched it. We definitely rented it. I think it was
Or
a direct.
detectives, no. Or zombievers, no. Just kidding.
Zipper or zombies versus strippers.
Zombies versus strippers, yeah. You gotta
Yeah.
watch it.
Oh, Ross is chiming in with The Woman in Black, which I think people would know that one. Maybe not The Orphanage. The Orphanage is pretty good. Oh, just wait. I have Daisy.
so
Daisy's my
sad.
other werewolf pit bull. She wants out. 1 sec.
I love Daisy. I need a Daisy and DOG fix.
Oh,
No, The Orphanage. Have you seen The Orphanage, Wendy?
yes, I believe I have.
Oh my god. I think I cried. So I don't really cry at movies because I'm dead inside. But when I saw that, I mean, it was just heart-wrenching. Oh my god. Now I'm depressed. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
It was one good,
Yes.
if it's the one I'm thinking of, which I think it is.
Yeah, okay. So what about you, Wendy?
Oh, I don't know.
What about your fantasy? You never got to talk about the movie you really liked with your fantasy movie.
Well, there are several coming out. I saw recently that Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time series is going to be made into a series, and they were showing the cast, and I mean, I was like, oh, this is the people are just about spot on with how you imagine them to look like, and so I'm really excited about that. I think that was Prime, but I wouldn't swear to that. We've got Carnival Row coming up here in another week or so, and that is on Prime, which that's the Fairy Kingdom Tir na Nog
Oh yeah.
is somehow blasted over into our universe.
Ooh.
And, yes, or our dimension, however you look at it, and they're treated just abysmally. They're in England in this horrible little place called Carnival Row, and then we have not a remake, but a series from Netflix of Dark Crystal.
The Dark Crystal.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
It's a
can't
prequel.
wait.
Mm-hmm.
The prequel to The Dark Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Really
We
looking forward to that. Yeah.
We might try to do something special for that.
We might actually. Maybe some kind of a watch party or well, we would have to get Mystic Moon Cafe Gmail account back from Travis, but we might be able to, set something up on YouTube.
I did send a note, but I have not heard back.
Oh, okay, cool.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, we could do a live watch on YouTube for sure.
Yeah,
That would be
we could do it on
fun.
Ghostly Activities.
Yeah, and we can plug it into. We can drop the. Watch me get technical. We can do do the embeds from either site if we want.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we could do that.
Oh, I do have to say, Ross did put in here The Awakening. That is another one of my top 10 favorite movies. If you have not seen The Awakening,
Is
that's the one with the woman, ghost hunter back in the turn of the century.
I see it with Rebecca Hall.
Oh, yes. If you haven't
1920.
seen it,
I know this
gotta
one. Yeah, I
watch
know
it.
this one. Wasn't it? It's like an orphanage or something like that with World War I orphans in it, or it's a
No.
boarding school.
But yeah, quite,
She's a debunker, right?
yes.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen it.
It's a debunker.
I remember
Yes.
this. Oh,
One
I
of my
did.
favorites.
I did like from 1995 with Nicole Kidman, The Others. I did like that a lot.
Oh, yes. I forgot about that, too.
That's a good one.
We could have a 6-hour show, guys.
We could, but it
Well,
is
that's
that
what
time.
I
Do
know.
it. We
I
can.
know.
I know.
We,
it-
we have to get up early for... Or I do, anyway.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
could stay here till 1 in the morning.
I
and
do
talk.
True.
too. I do
We
too.
can talk.
The boys all have a spa appointment in the morning.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yes.
Massage, nails, hair.
Yes. All of the above.
Aw,
Aw.
nice.
But guys, we have reached that time in the evening.
Well, that was fun. I love talking about movies
Definitely, yes.
and TV shows and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
All of the above.
All of the above.
And Ross wants to watch Hand Job Cabin.
Yeah, Ross wants us to watch Handjob Cabin, brought to you by Next Door
You put
Studios.
the trailer on there before.
It looks more like a horror movie than other movie, and
I don't know the way she's facing in this the picture.
right, yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, guys, thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you got some good ideas for some great movies or TV shows coming out. And, there's a lot of good ones out there, a lot of bad ones too. But
Yeah.
Indeed. And next week we have the Maliks coming on, Jennifer and Kevin Malik from upper northern Wisconsin area, ghost hunters and psychics and demonologists, so
yes.
should be an exciting time. And let's see, after that, what's on the 4th? We have someone for the 4th.
We have Sherilyn Darcy, who is the leading author on fairies from Australia.
Nice.
Yes. And then on the
11th?
11th, yes.
You're doing Wellington,
Yes,
right,
we're
June?
doing Wellington.
Yes, Wellington. on
The history and spirits of Wellington, Washington.
Yes.
A really riveting show.
Then on the 18th, we have Anwin Avalon. And she has written a book on water witchcraft, and we'll be talking about that and
Fun.
doing fun stuff like that. And we've got feelers out everywhere. Nick Redfern will be coming back, as well as Linda Godfrey and a few others of our show favorites and friends.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it looks like we're going to have a rune specialist on in early October as well.
Yes.
That'll
yes.
be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's throw runes at people.
That's right. I've got some runes. We'll divine.
Yay!
Woohoo!
Okay, and with that, we have some Rob Zombie. His track "Baby" will be our outro for the evening.
Awesome.
So
Right,
with
thank
that,
you all.
let's
Thank you,
say
everyone.
good night and happy birthday to Wendy.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Happy birthday! I'm gonna play some jammy jam. Let's rock out. Here we go.